Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Phil over at the Say What You Like Sports Podcast, hitting you back with another edition of the Say What You Like weekly NFL Power Rankings, Top 10 edition, Week 11, you know the business. But before I get into the top 10 here up on the podcast, I want to talk a little bit about what these NFL teams are looking to do right as they get deep into that stretch run and try to make their way into the playoffs. And what every team's trying to do right now, get on a streak. Every team wants to be streaking into the playoffs. And that's going to make for some good football going down the stretch, because a lot of these teams in the top 10 are set to meet each other in this last month and a half here in the NFL regular season. But without any further ado, let's talk a little bit about some of them matchups and get into the top 10 here. Alright, so starting things off at number 10, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is a team that would like to get on one of them streaks I was talking about. So, they're starting with one, because after that loss a couple of weeks ago to the Washington Redskins, hey, any win is a win in the NFL, right? But it didn't come without paying the price, because Richard Sherman goes down. He's now out for the season with the ruptured Achilles, and that's a big blow to this team if they want to try to make some noise in the playoffs, because this team, let's just face it, it's not the same team that won that Super Bowl a few years back. The Legion of Boom is no more. We don't have Sherman. Earl Thomas wasn't suited up in that last game, and basically when I was watching the end of that game, I was only looking at Cam Chancellor. He is the last man standing for that once great defensive backfield. So the only way I see this team winning is on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. It's a completely different team, like I said. No more beast mode, no more Legion of Boom. This is Russell Wilson's team, and he's going to have to put up an MVP type caliber performance if he's going to make any noise going into these playoffs here. Coming off an ugly win this weekend, but still going from number 10 last week to number 9 this week, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Blake Bortles almost blew it twice for this team in the final 2 minutes, handing out 2 picks late in the game. But it seems like San Diego just didn't want the win. It looks like maybe they're a little bit more experienced with choking away the game, and ultimately they did so. So Jacksonville escaped with the 20-17 win over the LA Chargers, and they can thank this defense, because this defense is balling out. They have the talent. Jalen Ramsey looks like one of the best young DBs in this game. I mean, his technique is sound for a second-year player. I mean, he's making plays all over the field. He's active, and that's for sure. And look, these Jacksonville Jaguars, say what you will, I still question them at a certain point. Like, they don't have the QB. The offense gets stagnant at times. You got to question some of the moves they make as a coaching staff, putting the ball in Bortles' hands in the last 2 minutes when they should run the ball and win the game and, just play off that defense. But in the end, this defense is winning games, and that's a tough thing to do in the NFL. And hey, we got to give these guys props. They're leading the division, and it looks like it's all going to come down to that last final game against the Tennessee Titans to see who pulls out the AFC South. Fresh off the big Monday Night Football victory over Smokin' Jay Cutler and the Miami Dolphins, we have the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers are getting on a bit of a streak here. They're now with 3 games as a winning streak. It's going to get a little bit tougher going down the stretch, because the competition's going to get stiffer. Look, they dominated the Miami Dolphins tonight on Monday Night Football. But, hey, let's be real with it. Who doesn't dominate Jay Cutler, right? But like I said, this competition is going to get stiffer down the stretch. They got the New Orleans Saints. They got to travel to New Orleans in a bit and then take on the Minnesota Vikings. So this offense, hopefully they found some consistency. Cam Newton's got to stay consistent in order to keep this streak going well into the playoffs and maybe make another run back to the Super Bowl. And that's why I got the Carolina Panthers here at number 8. In at number 7 on this week's Power Rankings, I give you the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs need to get on another streak like they started the season when they went 5-0. But They hit a couple of rocks in the road. Look, they're coming off a loss against the Dallas Cowboys. They're sitting there at 6-3. But guess what? The news ain't all bad in Kansas City, because coming up on the schedule, you got a few cupcakes. You got the New York Giants. The Buffalo Bills didn't look very good at all. It looks like that defense is finally starting to crumble. Then you got the New York Jets. So Kansas City should be able to get on a streak, start putting a few wins in a row together. And you know what? This team's looking to win the AFC West yet again and make their moves in the playoffs. Alright, now let's jump into the top 6. At number 6, I have the New Orleans Saints here. Now, talking about a streak, man, this team is streaking. They have a 5-game winning streak. They started off 2-2, but now they're all the way up to 7-2. But they got some teams in front of them that they're going to have to prove themselves to me to really get beyond this top 6 area here. If they want to be in top 3, hey, they're in position to do so because they have the LA Rams on the schedule and the Carolina Panthers. But hey, let's not lose any faith in this team. I like the way this New Orleans team is looking. I mean, they're shocking me, to be honest. 47-10 win over Buffalo. I mean, it was monstrous. But it's the way that they're doing it that has impressed me. They've gotten away from relying on the shoulder and the arm of Drew Brees, and now they're letting the run game do the heavy lifting, winning these games. I mean, that tandem of Kamara and Ingram, they're beasting. They had 237 yards this weekend and 4 touchdowns split between the two. And they're both doing good. I mean, they both had 100 yards. They're both dangerous on any given play. Hey, hell, even Drew Brees got into the action, had a rushing TD. When's the last time you seen that? I mean, this Saints team has just completely reinvented itself. And man, they're looking to stick to their winning ways. And can't argue with the win streak like 5. They got that streak already going. Alright, in at number 5, it's time to stop calling this team a pretender. This team is a straight contender. No other way around it. You have the LA Rams. Now the LA Rams are on a little 4-game winning streak here. That's nice. That's a quarter of a season. You know, the only loss was that tough loss, division rivalry to the Seattle Seahawks. But this team now is sitting here at 7-2. Sean McVay is being called a genius by pretty much everybody around the league. And the only thing that worries me about this team is, are they going to be able to hold up against these top defenses coming up next on the schedule? They got to go to Minnesota. They got to play New Orleans and Philadelphia, and then travel up to Seattle, the team that just beat them, their last loss. So, you know, the schedule is stacked against these Rams, but the firepower that these Rams have on offense, I just can't doubt them anymore. You got Goff. You got Gurley. And that's just on the offense. The defense, you got that bad boy in the middle of the line, Aaron Donald. So these Rams, I think they're going to be all right down the stretch. And that's why I got them here at number 5. In at number 4, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Now, these Minnesota Vikings are one of those teams that we talked about that are streaking. They are coming off a 5-game winning streak. They're sitting pretty on top of their division at 7-2. And look, this defense is impressive, but we all know that. The part that I'm still tripping on is they're winning these games with Case Keenum. Sam Bradford went down. Teddy Bridgewater is barely getting back into the mix. And, you know, they're not even sure who's going to be the quarterback. Word around the campfire is Case Keenum is going to get the start against the LA Rams this weekend. And he really should. Because Case Keenum, he's balling out, throwing touchdown after touchdown and winning games. You can't ask any more from your quarterback than go out there and win the game. And that's what Case Keenum's doing. Even though it is behind that defense, he's still doing his thing. He's getting the dub, and that's all that matters in the NFL. But I got a question to ask, since they're playing the LA Rams this week, and it makes me think about something. Remember Jeff Fisher, the old Rams coach? He had Case Keenum last year, and he didn't do nothing with him, and he had a ballin' out defense. It just shows you just what kind of a coach Mike Zimmer is as compared to Jeff Fisher, because Mike Zimmer has a defense where he can get Case Keenum to win and be a winning quarterback in this league, and Jeff Fisher, man, he just really wasn't about nothing, was he? In at number 3, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now with that, I want to talk a little bit about this AFC playoff picture here. You can pretty much erase everybody out there because it's going to come down to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. We know what it is already. These two teams are the cream of the crop. Everybody else is just there. They're there, but they're not going to compete. They're not going to be the one to get into the big game. But you know what? This Pittsburgh Steelers offense is legit. They really have not exploded like we've seen them in the past. And that's what's scary, because you know that explosion's coming. And New England is scared, because if it comes against them in the playoffs, Pittsburgh just could be your Super Bowl representative from the AFC this year. It's looking good, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. It's looking pretty damn good. In at number 2, that other team I was talking about as far as being an AFC Super Bowl contender, the New England Patriots. Now these New England Patriots have an identical record to the Pittsburgh Steelers in at 7-2, but this team is currently riding a 5-game winning streak. Pittsburgh riding a 4-game winning streak. And since winning streaks are the big thing this week here on Say What You Like, I had to give the nod to the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots have hit their bumps in the road. That defense didn't look good at all in the beginning of the season, but it looks like they've tidied things up a lot more. You know, Gilmore stepped up last week, you know, showed that he can be a force in the defensive backfield. Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. They shipped out Garoppolo. That's how much confidence Bill Belichick has in his boy Tom Brady. It ain't changing. It's going to come down to the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And at this point, I gotta give New England just a slight edge, just based on the experience. And even though this team really, really misses Edelman, I mean, they still got Gronk. And in the end, they still got Tom freaking Brady. That's why this team's here at number 2. No surprise. Winning streaks. Winning streaks have been the big theme here in Week 11 for the Say What You Like Power Rankings. And the team with the most impressive winning streak this season, 7-game winning streak, we have the 8-1 NFC East, NFC leading Philadelphia Eagles. Now, these Eagles have the Dallas Cowboys in their sights on Sunday Night Football. And Roger Goodell, you know, give him an assist. Chalk him up. Call him CP3. He gave the assist to the Philadelphia Eagles because this Dallas Cowboys team is going to be without Ezekiel Elliott. And hopefully the Cowboys get back Tyron Smith, because Claiborne looked like Lawrence Taylor out there with Chaz Green trying to fill in as the left tackle. So things are looking very, very good for Philadelphia, because I thought that a Dallas Cowboys team with Ezekiel Elliott could challenge for this division, but a team without Ezekiel Elliott, and especially a team without Tyron Smith, ain't going to challenge this juggernaut in the Philadelphia Eagles. However, later in the season, they have a couple of tough games. They got to travel up to Seattle, and then they got to take on the LA Rams. So Philadelphia's going to get tested. I expect them to drop a game or two here, but there's no way this team's finishing anything worse than 13-3. They should have the number 1 seed in the NFC and probably be your favorites to meet either the Patriots or the Steelers in that Super Bowl. That's how it looks like to me, at least here early in Week 11, but there's plenty of football to be played, and we're going to have to just watch it play out. That's the fun of being a fan of the NFL, am I not right? You know? But I am Philip Enriquez. Thank you guys for tuning in here on YouTube or Anchor or whatever platform you are listening to me on. Check me out, subscribe, leave a like. I'd appreciate it. Until next time, guys, until Week 12, peace out.